I think we're live. And only 3 minutes late, although I didn't schedule anything, so I guess. I don't know, we're early. Nobody's gonna hear the first part anyway, so I can say whatever I want. Oh, Jerry Martin is here. I stand corrected. Somebody was, in fact, here to hear what I was saying. How are you, Jerry? Welcome to the stream. Not bad. How are you? I'm realizing that there's like a little drop of resin from last week sitting right in the right smack dab in the middle of the table here. Yeah, I think that's what that was. I did exactly 5 seconds of any type of cleaning between the last stream and this stream, so yeah, and I knocked stuff over. What's new and exciting in the world of Jerry? Well, I have a nephew that's asked me to print a couple of things for him, so we're gonna do that. I don't have a set agenda. I just thought I'd hop on and hopefully hang out with people for a little bit and catch up. And yeah, I wasn't sure which project I wanted to kind of work on tonight, so figured good week to catch up and chat with people, see who's hanging around. I should get back to the design work on the 3D replica I've been working on my grandparents' cabin that I started on a little while ago, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Well, I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling good. I hope they get you fixed up quickly. I had double ear infections a couple months ago. They aren't fun, so I don't blame you for wanting to avoid them as much as possible. And how's Mitch tonight? Mitch in 3 dimensions. There's a chance the stream might get cut short. I might have to. I gotta keep an eye on my phone. I might have to head into work. It's kind of. I have to deploy something. So if something goes wrong tonight and the system might be interrupting with interrupting gets shut down by something else, then I might as well go in and put my change in at the same time. But that is in fact Mitch 3D of Backpack 3D printing fame. One and the same. One in the same. I guess we'll start by getting those prints going for my nephew. I don't know if he's in here. If he's in here, he gets to pick which color I print them in, and if not, then I just finished doing a media server backup that I kicked off some point last week, and it took almost 8 days to back up all my data over the network. Blue, you want it in blue. Now I gotta go find the link for what you wanted to print. What time am I starting? Whatever time it is now, minus however long we've been streaming for. Let's see. You want the SCX 24 flex plates for your RC. It's true. Borders can't keep us apart, Mitch. Mitch Jackson is my nephew. Yeah, we really wanted to be there for 3D Printopia this year, and it just I started a new job towards the end of last year, and as a result, I only had like 3 and a bit days of vacation for this year, and we couldn't swing it. We're hoping next year. It all depends on how things go. You never know, but yeah, we wanted to be there, wanted to see people, but just wasn't in the cards this year. Did you have fun though? That's the real question. Okay, I have your flex plate files. Now, are you going to need additional screws or anything to go with this, Jack? Or is it just supposed to go in place of what's already there? I have to alt-tab back in. I can't see chat. Yeah, I think this is the last year, right? Next year they're moving to... Oh yeah, next year in Philly. Sorry. I was reading from the bottom up. You had already answered the question. Yeah, we're talking about next year. If we can make it, we'll try and add a couple of additional days so that we can explore Philly a little bit because we've never been. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think I have blue loaded onto any of my printers. But that's okay. We can do that. No problem. Okay, yeah, it's just curious. I was just curious how it was supposed to be set up. I'm going to change the resolution on my screen. I'm using a 2K screen and drop it to 1080p, and then I'm going to screen share because you guys might as well be able to see what I'm doing. So I will come to Printed Sullivan visit. I've been there before. I've always been treated well. Plus, there's a few new faces there that I recognize since the last time I was there. Jackson, do you want me to print 4 total, as in like 2 copies of 2, or you want me to print 4 sets, which is like 8 of them? Yeah, I was excited to see him do it, and we've been talking for what it's worth. I think I'm going to. He's given me some feedback, and I've been planning on revisiting and reworking on the design. He was suggesting I aim for smaller printers since lots of people have tinier printers now. So I think this year, especially as we move into the winter, that I'm going to take the time to redesign it. I've got 2 of them, so I can easily strip the parts out of one and build it into something newer. So you might want to hold off if you've already got the files for the one you bought. I'll send you the new ones for free, but it'll print in multiple pieces, clean up together, and I'll probably map out maybe a couple of changes to electronics. I'm still going to be using the same screen and the Pi, and the joystick and buttons. That'll all stay the same. But I want to do a little bit better with the power management, and maybe incorporate some stuff. I don't know. Well, you were there last year, Jerry, so you probably saw the newest arcade design. I haven't released it anywhere because there's a small issue with it that's hardware related, not software. But this is the most recent 3D printed arcade cabinet that I've done. So it's a multicolor, which gives it that weird. I was able to do the nice like green trimming on it. And I use brass insert, so it's a nice solid one. And one of the things too, and I think I stole this from somebody in terms of, and I've subsequently lost it. There's a subwoofer in the bottom of it, so you get the rumble when it's going. And you see, there's holes kind of evenly spaced across in a couple of spots here, and that's so that it's modifiable in the future. And one of the things I'm working on too is that the control panel is removable and easily connectable, disconnectable. Oh, the bottom's fallen off of it here. But the idea is the control panel would be a self-contained unit, so you can swap out. So like this one's got 2 joysticks, but if you wanted joystick and 6 buttons, or you know, like a spinner or a trackball or whatever, that you don't have to build separate cabinets for each of them. You just print the separate controllers for them. So I just gotta put this back together. I ran into a weird issue with it that I gotta get back to, because I built this before we were... This is actually a 40th birthday gift for my friend who is now 41. I built it for him and gave it to him, and the day I gave it to him, it was experiencing some weird issues. So I said, "Oh, I'll fix it," and then we ended up moving. So we ended up planning to move and then moving. But I also use transparent colors on the top here, so it lights up behind there. So I think it's probably my nicest looking cabinet so far. Just not as practical as having the rotating screen, but I want to incorporate some of the functionality. So it'll end up being a little bit taller, I think. The base of it's going to have to be a little bit thicker. But I want to get the subwoofer in there, better power system for it. And I'm going to add a spring to act as retention for the wire for the rotating screen. Just, it works fine the way it is, but I'd like for it to, you know, be very reliable. So, okay, printing things for Jackson. I was going to share my screen though. Let's see. Let's do where are you? Video device capture. No, we want display capture. And slap this over here. Yeah, finding reliable sources for 4x3 screens at this point is getting difficult. There's a couple companies that make one specifically targeted arcade cabinets that are like 19 inches and maybe a couple of bigger ones, but yeah. That looks like it should give me the display. Well, I mean, you're definitely in the top 2, Jackson, but I'm not picking favorites. Okay, blue filament. I dropped it. It's right here. We'll just toss it on. We're going to toss it on the tiny printer over here because that seems like it'll be more than enough. These are tiny pieces to print. It's different when I ask you if I'm your favorite uncle, because I'm kind of your only one. Of course, it'd be way more hurtful if you told me I wasn't your favorite uncle now. If you're going to do that, you should wait till after I'm finished printing your parts. That's a little pro tip. Okay, so then I'm just going to tell the printer, hey, you got different color filament now. Load that here, edit. There's no good way for me to show you this unless I have like 5 billion cameras, but... Okay. And then we're going to go over here. I guess it would help if I... As I tell you, oh yeah, there's no good way for me to show you this. There's also no good way for me to be on screen, I guess, right now. Let's do... Drag myself up to here, or maybe down to here. There we go. What if I had said no to printing this stuff? Would I still be your favorite? Okay, there we go. We've got your little pieces there. Let's slice it up and see how long it's gonna take. Oh, well, we just figured out what we're doing for upwards of 9 minutes of the stream. So we'll go ahead and send those over. Not much to them. So tell me, so Jerry and Mitch, I think you were both at 3D Printopia. Maybe I shouldn't be watching my phone and biking. I just hit a pole. Are you okay? I think that still counts as distracted driving, Jack. You should probably take it easy, buddy. Uh, Poor Jackson's gonna be like, I don't understand why my parents won't let me get my license. uh, are you wearing a helmet, Jackson? Uh, you know you need your head, right? Back to Jerry and Mitch. Tell me some of the projects you saw. What was your favorite project this year at 3D Printopia? I think I need to find a way to put a better video card in this computer. It's doing everything through the CPU right now, which I think is why it won't let me stream 4K content from my 4K camera. CPU is only at 10%, so we're getting 30 frames per second, so it's better than 15. It's the way math works. Purging old filament, except for the little chunk of yellow that was stuck right on the side. Oh, so new printers. That was something. Would you guys be interested? I don't. I have no idea how many people are watching right now, to be honest. Let's see. Oh, it's from last week's stream. I was like, oh, look at all the people that popped in. It was last week's stream. Got them. I have all sorts of. Okay, Jerry. I hope you get taken care of. Fingers crossed you're in and out quickly. I was kind of considering. I've got all sorts of spare parts for 3D printers and stuff. Should I do I'll let that finish doing what it's doing first. I don't know how loud that is over the. Should I do a stream where I just design a 3D printer from scratch? It's obviously not going to be anything spectacular. I feel like the market for self-designed 3D printers the call for self-designed 3D printers has died off, but I have more than enough parts to build another printer. So, that was pretty loud. Yeah, sorry about the rattle. The microphone's here and the printer is like pointed right at it. And I've got a little purge container on the side of the bamboo, so it just rattles all that purged plastic around every time it starts up. Should just go through and be like, maybe I'll plan to start it in the next one. I start thinking about all the stuff I got, and I've got like the motors. I think I might be missing a hot end. Hey Mitch, you guys want to sponsor me with a hot end? I'm kidding, by the way. I'm not actually asking for anything. This printer is not going to be great, so. But I'm pretty sure I've got fans. I've definitely got motors and extruders and hotbeds and power supplies. So like, missing like maybe $20 worth of fasteners and some wires. I've even got like cable wrap and stuff like that. Um, and I've got a whole bunch of like leftover 2020 aluminum extrusion. Could do something fun with that. Maybe a little tiny, maybe Core XY. Self-contained dealy. Now I know what you're thinking. There's all sorts of miniature Core XY machines, kind of like I'm describing. So why don't I just do one of them? Because then I didn't design it. Then I'm not the one. Then I have an easy out for blaming other people if things don't go well. Sounds like your parts are just about to kick off there. Yeah, I got them all cut, actually. I don't know if you can tell. Uh, I had dinner with Adam last week, and it was the day before my haircut, so I was as shaggy as I could possibly be before that. And, yeah, next day, what did they say? Got my ears lowered? No, my hair bunches up so much they can do the whole haircut in two cuts. I don't know who here has watched the video on my mini solar setup, but I had this solar box I built last year that's got an inverter and it's got a solar charger, and it had three 8 amp hour batteries in it. And I think the batteries ran too dead for too long, so I haven't been able to get it. No, it wasn't that. It was that I have to book it 2 weeks in advance. So by the time I knew you guys were gonna join us for dinner, it was already booked too late. Anyways, my the batteries won't charge all the way. It's supposed to top out, I think, at 14.6 volts when it's fully charged, and it stops going any higher at 13.4. And if I then unplug the charging from it within 2 days, it's back down below like 13 volts. Hey Mark, welcome to the stream. I do a little more work in the room here. I'm realizing that I could be further back from the camera and have more room to work with over there. Like there's a fair amount of space between me and the desk. There's certainly enough space between me and back here, so. Jackson, your parts are like 80% done. Oh, lost a step of some sort there, or bumped into something maybe. I feel like these can't possibly be sturdy enough to do what you want to do. Like, they're 5 layers thick, so that's like a millimeter? Sorry, yeah, a millimeter. It happens. Batteries have gotten cheaper. I'm debating because I've got a good like 2 amp hour battery system now. No, 2 kilowatt hour. 2 kilowatt storage system now that's all self-contained. So I don't even know if it's worth fixing up the other one, but we'll see. The solar charger is also not great on that one. It was supposed to be higher end one, and it turns out it's kind of just some Chinesium stuff. But live and learn. Things I've learned along the way. Go pure sine wave. Don't go modified sine. Causes issue. Don't cheap out on your solar charger. Definitely don't run it dead. All they do is lower the shocks. But then aren't the shocks attached to them? Okay, well, they're done. I am not using the cool plates. I'm using the smooth ones on this guy and the textured ones on that, but they're both the hot plates. I'm not against trying cool ones, though. Just looking to see what else I've stashed up there. Okay, well. There's your prints, Jackson. Are they everything you hoped and dreamed? Let that cool for a minute before, especially with how thin they are. I want them to be below the temperature where they're going to have additional flex in them before I take them off. Oh, right. See, I need a director. Yeah, I guess we can just do, what is it, this? And then that. There we go. Jackson's parts, everyone. I could have printed them on the Tiny Maker, which is still sitting here, with a bit of resin in it from last week. That could have been fun. I think I could actually print 4 of them at the same time on that, so look at that. It's magical. That's cooled off now, so then we'll just give it a little flexy flex. I'm pretty sure we're... Try not to touch them because I don't want to... Oh, let me... Just checking to see that I didn't get a text message from work. There we go. First try. I mean, let's have some fun with this stream tonight. Does anybody have any cool prints they've seen pop up that I should give it a shot? Anything fun to play with? Slap that back on there. I was going to ask if there's an easy way for me to add camera support from the Bamboo to my streaming, but I just remember that it takes a picture, or like it's like less than 2 frames a second or something like that, so I don't think anybody wants to watch that. So these pieces attach over the existing shock mounts, I'm assuming, on Jackson's RC, and then give them a lower mounting point. Is that about right? Correct me if I'm wrong. We can also start taking a look at which parts I've got for building a printer. I'll see what I've got up here. We'll go from there. Well, let's see. Well, there's a NEMA 17. Then we got a Pancake NEMA 17. Then we've got this NEMA 17 motor. And then I got this one here, which is a NEMA 17 motor. Now this one here is a NEMA 17 motor, which I like to pair with a NEMA 17 motor. And let's see, what else do we have here? I don't know if you guys have seen one of these before, but this is a NEMA 17 motor. And funny enough, I've got this set here of NEMA 17 motors. See, there's a slight height difference between them. And then, of course, there's the classic NEMA 17 motor. And what else do we have in here? I got these in bulk, so I got 3 NEMA 17 motors. And just to round things out, I've also got these NEMA 17 motors. I can definitely print parts for, let's see, what did your daughter play with, Jerry? I missed a message in there somewhere, I think, Because I see Jerry saying my daughter played with it at the show and now I'm hooked. Unless he's talking about the cool plates, but I don't think so. Did somebody else see a message that I'm missing? I was just digging around here and I actually found a couple of NEMA 17 motors, which I could probably pair with a couple of NEMA 17 motors. And I forget what model these are. Something 17, I think. I have no idea why I have so many of these. But okay, I think that's it. Other than that, I've got these cheap these 12-volt ones. 12 volt 28 BYJ 48s. These guys have pretty decent amount of backlash in them, I think. Yeah. That's from back with the Cherry 3D printer. It did not survive the move up here, but if anybody needs a NEMA 17 motor or two, do let me know. Just looking to see what else I've got in here. I've got... I think that's it for the NEMA 17 motors. Did I run that bit too long? I feel like I ran that bit too long. I've got some sort of extruder in here. And I mean, I've got all sorts of wires and stuff to hook things up. And then I've got power supplies in here without digging everything out. And I've got more parts downstairs in my... I don't know if you guys remember, I had 2 dressers at in my old studio. The second one ended up downstairs here, and I think there's still a bunch of printer parts in here. Or in there, rather, so... We could try and design something fun. I have to see what I've got for control boards. I don't think I have anything super modern, but... You know what? The joke's on me, though, right? Because now I have to put these parts away. Ah, well. Ah, well, indeed. And I think whatever I build is going to be Bowden set up. At least a 500. A 500 watt. Maybe I'm out of the game too much and that's more obvious. I mean, I guess we could pick. We're going to need at least 4, if not 5 of these guys, right? So we can take a look and see what I've got for matching sets. Looks like it's a little bit height difference. That looks like a match. Then that one's shorter, I think. Looking for the ones too that are, I mean, I might as well be looking for the newer ones, right? So some of these came from the Tronxy X5S. It never did work quite the way I was hoping it would. And ultimately when we moved, or maybe just before we moved, everything blends together. At some point I dismantled it and I was like, it's spare parts now. I would like to build something that's smaller and kind of lower power consumption for use up at the cottage because it would be running off of solar power. But it would be nice to be able to build, or like to be able to design and print parts up there if we needed something instead of having to wait for us to come back, later on. It comes up from time to time where it would be nice to be able to print something off, so that would be the goal. Something, like 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches would be probably plenty for the use case. These guys are extra chonky. These were from some sort of industrial equipment. They've got these teethed gears attached. There's no set screw on them. It's just hammered on there. And I don't think I've been able to get them to budge. I've got 2 of them. I thought I had 3. I might have a third one. So, yeah, they're right here. All 3 here. Right here. So I got 3 of them that were from a friend at my old job. They're Minebea motors, and I think they're fairly old. Very heavy. I'll have to go through. I've got obviously more than enough pulleys to put this together. I got rid of so many printer parts when we moved because they took up a lot of space, so kind of had no choice on it. But as I go through here, I'll pull off things that I think we're going to need. I'm going to have to check to see how many teeth each of these is. And then I'll see what I've got for smooth rods and threaded rods. And I don't know. Has anything become revolutionary that I should be thinking about as I build this next one? What's changed in the world? I'm a little out of it, I think. I mean, I guess if I design for the largest one, the largest of the motors, I could build 3 identical printers and, I don't know, give 1 or 2 of them away next year at IRF. Well, the snag will be, and I think I do have some linear rails. I'm going to have to try and sort of build it with what I've got. But I did have part of the reason I have some of the parts that I've got is because I was planning to try and build... I'm sure some of you remember the Kodama Obsidian nonsense. I was planning to try and design, build, and print, or design, print, and build a printer that would match their, like, not their design. I wasn't ripping off their design, but the goal of their project. And try and do it before they released their printer. Little did I know at the time that there really was no rush. In fact, if I start this goal today, no matter what, I will still accomplish what I was after. So, but yeah, I think I have maybe some linear rails that would work for this project. So I'll have to take a look. The linear rails are pretty stiff. I'm thinking I could do like a mostly 3D printed body if I put them because they would stiffen things up. I'm not saying I will because, as I said, I do have some aluminum extrusion left over from the X5S. Just wondering where I might have put those linear... Oh, yeah, there's some linear rails here. I think. Let's crack into it and we'll see what's here. I don't think I've got enough for every axis. I did have a bunch of 600 millimeter linear rails before we moved, and I gave them all to a friend along with my CR10s when we moved, because I didn't have a way to those short stacks could make good direct drive. That's true. I mean, I do have, like, it's a pretty thin guy right there. It's pretty tiny, not very heavy. And, I mean, I'm a little out. The last printer I configured from scratch was an older version of Marlin. But, I mean, we're all hanging out here. I don't imagine anybody being too quiet in here if we're trying to do this project sort of together. So, yeah, I could... let's say I'm going to aim to do what I am going to do with what I've got, plus, you know, maybe $100, which I think is doable. We might need a control board. I definitely have a power supply. I definitely have motors. And I'm sure I've got some sort of hot end anywhere. I might have a original Mosquito kicking around. I just realized my old address is prominently displayed on this package, but I don't think the stream would have been clear enough for anybody to read it anyways. And an address from 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, isn't going to make a difference. Most likely. Okay. Well, these might be greasy because I do see maybe a little grease inside this wrapping. Just open it up and see what we got. I don't know if there's 2 rails in here. I don't know if it's less or more than 2. It looks like we've got exactly 2 rails. And they are, yeah, they smell of grease. They are greased. There is grease all over my hands. Even though it was pretty sealed-ish. So we'll go ahead and slap this down on here. And we got some linear rails. I think those are... I don't know what size they are for sure. I've got my calipers here. Maybe we can... 13 millimeter wide, it looks like. Yeah. So we got some linear rails. Enough for at least one axis. I'll see what else I've got. If these are the longest ones I've got, they might become... Yeah, that's the real question. I don't know. I don't know if any of my boards are up here. They might be downstairs. I think this is mostly older computer parts. And I'm not going to leave you guys hanging for 20 minutes while I go downstairs. Oh, this is also interesting. I was wondering where those ended up. 2 seconds here, guys. also have these guys here, which I'm trying to remember what size they are. So I think that's a NEMA 11, and I think this is a... I'm not even sure, but NEMA 8 maybe? So I've got some 11s, if you want to save space. And yeah, I think 3 11s and 2 8s. And a 3D Printopia sticker. I know I have at least one 32-bit board, and I probably have a bunch of 8-bit boards. Let me think. I don't know which models I've got, but you know, whatever we have to do to get it to work. Yeah, so for next week, I'll try and do some digging around. Unless, like, if you want me to run downstairs, I can see what I can sort of pull together in 5 minutes to show you what we're working with. It's totally up to you guys. I don't even know how many people are hanging out right now, to be honest. Let's take a look. We have 6 concurrent viewers. So there's 6 people in here that can help decide if I should run downstairs and see what I can grab. Just checking to make sure I haven't got any messages from work. Gotta be doing my due diligence. If you send me something, can I print it? I would bet that I can. Did you already send it to me? I see Velcro body mount upgrade. Just the day to be asking me to print stuff for you, buddy. Let's take a look here. SCX24 Velcro. Durable SCX24 Velcro body mount upgrade. What's the story, Morning Glory? I'm just gonna check the print settings to see how people have been doing it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we can print that off. Is blue okay again? I will start this off to print, and then I will go ahead and run downstairs and see what I can grab for additional electronics. I won't grab everything I can, but just the quick wins. We did try that at some point, and we will try that again. I had passed them on a printer, but it was not able to get used right away, and it became older, and it got passed on to somebody else. Luckily, we're in the same city now, because it used to be that he'd ask me to print something for him, and I'd have to bring like a printer up with me from near Ottawa. Okay, let's go ahead and print this. We'll print it strong, I think. Strength. This time, so I'm going to run downstairs quick, and I'm going to mute my microphone so you guys don't have to listen to the rattle of the printer tuning itself, and then I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. She'll be right back. And we're back. And here I am. Things that I found. So, I've got a MakerBase MKS Mini 12864, which has the SD card slot and display controller. For electronics, I don't think I have any steppers. That's something I didn't think of. I've got a Big Tree Tech SKR V1.3. So we got that going for us. I found a 4x4 heat bed. So depending on what size we need to go, that could be alright, although I don't have a build surface for that. I didn't find any more linear rails. I did find a bunch of 6mm smooth rods. I found some 8mm threaded rods. I found what hopefully is still a good V6 clone hot end. So we got that guy going for us. I've got a LJ12A34Z, and I think that's an induction sensor. Another extruder, a MOSFET, if we need it for the bed, a couple of the optical limit switches, and then I brought up a piece of the 2020 aluminum extrusion I've got. So that's what we're working with so far. I do have some more stuff to go through downstairs, but this was what was readily grabbable for me. So the frame could be, now I'm going to be limited to, I'll have to cut these with probably a hacksaw. I'll see if I can get maybe a metal blade for my miter saw, in which case I'd be able to take care of them. And then I could cut them down to the proper lengths. Seems like this would be a pretty good way to go. I'd need to get a tapping set probably too, to tap the ends there, in case we're bolting anything directly together. I don't think I have a BL Touch left. I'll go through and dig through. And like I said, I'm willing to put like a little bit of money towards it, so we'll reuse sort of as much as I've got. I know all this stuff is going to be dated at this point, but we'll see what I need at the end. I also have, I've got like a ball of GT2 belt. Is that right, GT2? Is that a blade for the miter saw for cutting aluminum jack? I'll have to see if I can find the ribbon cables for this guy, or a set of ribbon cables that'll fit it. And then, I have no idea. So obviously, got the connections here for the controller, but... Oh, a tapping kit, perfect. I don't actually know how we flash this guy. I know it's got a 128 meg SD card. It goes into it. I'm assuming that's where the firmware goes, but I am out of the loop on stuff. It's a nice one though. It's got a 10 and 20 amp fuse built right into the board. And if we go small on the bed, I don't think we'll need the MOSFET. Yeah, I know these proximity ones aren't the best, especially since they're influenced by like temperature and stuff like that. But even a clone BL Touch would allow us to get that perfect first layer hopefully every time. Jackson, your print just finished. So I guess we should go through and decide what's going to stay and what isn't. So I think I'll probably stick with, since I'm going for something that's going to be reliable, I'll probably stick with the NEMA 17s. I don't need the biggest ones, but the extra torque versus the 11s or the 8s is probably going to be worthwhile. I'll keep 5 of them in the box here. I think we decided we're going to go with the thinnest one and try and do maybe direct extrusion. Although I think... Actually, this extruder might be one where you can attach the hot end directly to it and attach the motor to it, and you're all set. Where did I put that super short motor now after all that? I might have tucked it away. Might be buried. I do have 8mm smooth rods downstairs as well. I didn't see any extra bearings. So if we've got 2 linear rails, where's the best place to put them? Then of course we've got our... I think that's a 4-inch bed, so I'm assuming like 100mm by 100mm. Yeah, we're 120mm here. It'll probably be a sneaker nut setup, I think. Also, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have never set up clippers, so I am more than open to suggestion. So this is the heat bed's a piece of aluminum with a board bonded to the bottom of it. I don't see the traces, but I'll assume that they're there. Probably, it might be a double-sided board. Seems thick anyways. I wanted to take a look at this hot end, which has a piece of Bowden tube going into it, and see if it looks like... Oh, it's definitely been used. It looks like... This is one of the ones that had the Teflon lining into the throat. And it's probably jammed up. Oh, what this is I bought a bunch of the no-name ones at one point to test them out. This is a clone of a V6, and it had an all-metal heat break on it, and all of them jammed, and it was a pretty common issue back then. And this is actually going back to, this is before the clones got even decent. You can see it uses a glass thermistor, not one of the ones that's in the metal cylinder, like the cartridge style. So very easy to come out. Also very easy, like finding the right tension to put onto it so that it stays in the hole but doesn't break the wires is, I don't know, maybe it was rougher on me than the rest of you guys. I don't know if you guys had problems with it, but I certainly did not enjoy the experience. That being said, in a pinch, we can use this one. All I have to do is order a replacement V6 heat break with the Teflon if I'm getting something cheap, and that's in business again. So Mark, I feel like you've been doing more of this stuff than you've definitely been doing more than I have lately, but I think you've stayed current with it. So what do you have for suggestions? I brought 2 of these guys up. I don't know where I put the second one. It's just basically going to be... You built 1 or 2? The last couple that I've put together have been bamboo ones. Which are pretty pretty simplistic compared to even building the Mark III, you know? And I had considered, I still have my Mark III and my Prusa Mini. I had considered bringing one or both of them up with us, but I'm looking for a fun project to do. And if we can make this work, then why shouldn't we? There's the short NEMA 70. That's the pancake stepper I was looking for. So I don't know that we'll, because these smooth rods, the 6 mils, are they even 6 mils? Yeah, they're 6 millimeters. They're I'm gonna say 200 millimeter. I don't know that we'll use them for anything because by the time, like, to get 100 that's a lot of extrusion, my friend. That is a lot of extrusion. Yeah, so with these being 200 millimeters, we're going to lose 20 millimeters at least on each side, probably to 15 millimeters, say 30 between the two of them, for them to sit in whatever is going to hold them in place. Then we're going to lose whatever goes into the carriage. Well, maybe we will, bud. We can plan one night if you want to come hang out here. And we'll see how that goes. If your parents are cool with it, I think they said they were. Let's crack open this extruder. Just gonna move these guys to the front here so we got a little space to work. And I have plenty of like El Chico Teflon tubing and stuff, so that stuff won't be an issue. I just want to see what extruders. I think this is the what was it? Was it called the Titan? Funny, a lot of the stuff I have left over is like the cheap knockoff stuff. But yeah, so probably like that. This goes on to the motor. Is there a flat spot on this one? There is a flat spot on this one. I don't think I have the right size handy to tighten it down. Did it come with one? That would have been handy, but I don't think it did. Okay, so then I'm assuming that's on like that. There might be parts missing from this because I don't see spring. Oh no, there's springs. Rolling away. So I would guess I'm gonna grab my iFixit kit because it will have what we need size wise. And then maybe I'll give us a little zoom in. And I'll try and stay in frame while we work this out. How you feeling, Jerry? Have they checked you out yet, or did they just move you into a different waiting room? As they're prone to do. I'm going to say maybe that one is the right one. Let's see. That's the right one. I'm not going to worry about getting this too tightened down because it'll have to be adjusted. Oh, did I miss it? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Probably off the side. Not that any of this is staying permanent anyways, but I'm going to assume that... Oh, it is bigger. Okay. I first made the mistake of assuming that they maybe did everything with the same size head on it so that it would be easy for assembly. That was incorrect. So that should attach like that, I would imagine. Okay, there's the one on there. Then this has been a while. Let me think here. Oh, probably like that. Let's see. Filament comes in. I know I should look up the instructions, but I'm just too darn stubborn. I'm gonna assume that goes there. Okay, so we know the filament's coming in through there. Then oh, I see. It's got to go on. So this needs to end up like this, maybe? It's like obviously that goes there. And there's a spring here that's meant to be the tensioner. Maybe. Okay, so that goes on here. I'm just kind of getting a feel for... Okay, so where's... If the filament's coming in there, it means that the feed hole has to be... like here. Which means this has to go like... Maybe this is a case where it's like I was talking about, oh, I'm not going to get too concerned about getting this to the right height. Probably want this kind of as low as it'll go, is probably what it comes down to. then you just want to break all the pieces that you've already attached off in one shot. Come on, is there anything more fun than just stumbling through and hoping you find the right way to construct something? Call that like that. Then, I'm saying if the filament path is there, this has to go there. And then we definitely need, before that goes there, our tensioner spring mounted. Like that. I think we're almost there. You guys doubted me. Oh no, that was me. I doubted myself. And then this is going to go like that. Pretty sure. Relatively sure. No longer sure. Positive. And there. How sure am I? No. Oh, you're quite right. Here, I'll just do that for now. Because we're almost done. I thought for sure the one that was here. Okay, well before we seal this up then, right, that's not... Oh yeah, see that one is supposed to... Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll set it up better for the next stream. I also need to get better lighting, I think, too. I don't know how, but I will at some point. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's a brass insert here, so I'm not sure why this isn't biting. It should grab. There must be something. No, you just had to push on it a little bit. Okay. Had it all right in the first place. Took it apart for absolutely no reason. That is interesting, because I would expect... Oh, I see why. Okay, no, this does make sense. I was gonna say I didn't understand why it was set up the way it is, but now I get it. It says extrude is this way, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. That should be the feed, but the feed is through here, and you can mount your V6 hot end there, or you can mount this coupler for a Bowden tube. That guy there. And did I just build this without instructions, with kind of little to no knowledge of how it works? Absolutely. Is it going to work? Oh. The sticker is a good idea, and also, yeah, like getting it should be focused more back here. I didn't adjust the angle when I zoomed it. I just zoomed it thinking that would be a better view. I think the reason I thought the lighting was bad is I'm using an old IBM ThinkCenter monitor. Professional. Yeah, I'm totally professional. I'm real good and stuff. And there, I think, is our extruder, as it were. How do I put more pressure on it? Probably by turning this like that. Yeah, that compresses the spring a little bit more. Um, I don't know that I'm the best one to answer that. I usually start off with some um, conserve you like I would often start off with the ones I was building. I'd start off with a slow profile for something like a CR10, um, and I would do like a test cube. Something like Chet's cube is great to watch for like ghosting and artifacting and stuff like that. I'd start with that and I'd sort of bring it up until I started seeing artifacting. I'd also then look at ways to strengthen the frame if I could see that there was like banding on the x-axis, the y-axis, any type of ghosting, that type of stuff. Um, and I'd sort of bring that up, and then once that was solid for an object like that, I'd move on to printing a benchy. And like you can start with the benchy, but I also like to start with the calibration cube with some design work on it, so that I can make sure that it's printing dimensionally accurate. So then I'd move on to a benchy. That would give me an idea of how my cooling and stuff was. And so then I'd sort of have the upper and lower thresholds. And then it's kind of just playing with stuff. Like print a calibration cube, measure it, see if you've got over or under extrusion, that type of stuff. I'd usually do one at like 20 millimeters, 40 millimeters, 60 millimeters, see if what works at 20 works at 60, and then find a happy medium somewhere in there. Mark's done, I would imagine, a ton of tuning by this point, so he might have some better feedback to throw at us. What do you think, Mark? Hey, Ron, how are you, buddy? How's life treating you? Stick a. I could have just done this, I guess, for now. There's the more or less the center. Not to drag Mark into conversations and explanations, but he's a smart guy. Just don't tell him I said so. Sorry, I keep having to peek in just to make sure I didn't get any messages from work. Yeah, dual fan's definitely a good idea for the cooling side of things. I think I've got a couple of the was it 5015s? Is that the blower fans? Um, if not, I'll pick up a couple. Even if I start off with a couple of cheap ones, once it's solidified, I can upgrade them to nicer stuff. Yeah, I think we got this extruder right. Let's see. Grab a little chunk of filament somewhere. I wonder how sturdy these pieces are going to be that Jackson asked me to print. I guess we'll find out. They look thin. Just taking a little piece of filament and jamming it through the feeder path, and we're going to See how she feeds. We are missing one piece, I think. I think there's supposed to be a piece of plastic that guides the filament. Yeah, there's supposed to be a piece of plastic. I'm going to show you guys in just a second. Because as I'm feeding this, I realize exactly where it's supposed to be and exactly why this won't work very well without it. There's still a lot of Ender 3s out there, right? Like, it's pretty crazy to think of how long ago that design of printer was introduced and how many people are still just have them chugging away part of their workflows. So I'm trying to get this filament where I'm trying to show it to you guys so it'll be a little more obvious. Of course, I could be trying to make this obvious for people that it's already obvious for, because I don't know how many of you have already seen this design for extruder. But there we go. Perfect. So I'll show you first. You can see here the extruder is now, if I turn it in the extrusion path, you should be able to see that it's in fact extruding. There's supposed to be a piece of plastic if I put it up here. Let's see if I can. You can see the filament running from the extrusion gear to the outside of it. There's supposed to be a piece of plastic that guides the filament in this path here, because right now there's nothing keeping it fed there. So the filament path is not very restricted coming out of the extruder, and it's also a pain in the butt to actually get it fed into the extruder as a result, because you've got this air gap where you're trying to get it to stay straight and go across out through either the hot end or through the Bowden tube binder. So I'll have to see if I can find something that I can print and stick in there that we line with PTFE tubing. PTFE? Doesn't sound right. It is right, I'm pretty sure. One of those days where something that you say a lot doesn't sound right when it comes out of your mouth. But yeah, just a little something. I think a nice geared extruder will be good. Here, I'll pull the print off. There you go. You should be, yeah, by all means. I've got you as admin in the chat, so you should be able to do whatever you want. There we go. But I would imagine that somebody's probably got a printable version of the part I'm looking for. Oh, it's a nice little dual blower with a hot end cooler built in. Is the hot end in that as well? I see the... I imagine that works well for Ender 2s and Ender 3s as well, and basically anything that uses aluminum extrusion as its linear system. I'm probably going to wrap up a little early tonight because I have to work overtime tomorrow and I have no idea how late of a night it's going to be. So I'm just getting myself prepared for that. I hope you guys don't mind, and I do appreciate you all hanging out here. I'm just pulling this extruder apart again to see. Yeah, there's definitely a spot for the type of part that I'm talking about on here. It would slide in through here. So you can see above the, let me just see here, I'll Alt-Tab. I want to make sure you can see it. Basically, above where the V6 mount is at the bottom on the left of the camera there, there's a spot for me to put a little funnel piece in there. So if I can map out how deep a cavity that is, I can design something that'll fit in there that'll take a piece of PTFE tubing. And we'll be able to use this extruder to do the job. And of course we've got this nice little mini control with SD card reader and everything in it. So I imagine it'll be like a square system. This will be mounted frontward and all the electronics will be sort of underneath the bed. And regardless of which motion system I go with, I think the bed will, you know, rise and fall versus moving back and forth. So that's the current plan. I got to see how many parts I can put together. Maybe we can start design work in the next stream in a couple of weeks. And I'll see if I've got any more linear rails that we can put into this system. And yeah, decide what's going to get used where. I'll see what else I've got for beds too, because I think 4x4 would be okay, but if we can go a little bit bigger, I think that's the route we'll go. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap things up. Thanks to everybody for hanging out tonight. It's kind of just I didn't have much planned for tonight. I just wanted to see what people were up to, you know, chat a little bit and just hang out. I'm glad we could kind of discuss where things are going to go with that. Should be a fun little project to hang out and work on weekly and start building together. Yeah, bimetal's the way to go. It gives you that that nice clean heat break, so it's a good setup. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and we'll see if we start working on this printer and it's going, you know, well or whatever. I think I have Wednesdays to work on videos and stuff, but I think it'll become a every Wednesday stream until it's built. So we'll see how that all goes. Jerry, I hope you're feeling better real soon, and to everybody else, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.